how's it going? And welcome to another episode of Top 5 Tuesday. This is episode 3, and in this episode we'll be covering the top 5 Set 1 staples. And so what a staple is a card or a group of cards that you should really have a playset of because they're very powerful, or they work in a bunch of different decks. And so with Set 2 right around the corner, I thought it'd be really fun to do this top 5. And so that way you guys kind of have an idea of what cards you should have a playset of in preparation for Set 2. So check it out right after this.
Coming at you with number 5.
All right, at number 5, we have combo effect cards. And these are cards that are in every color. There's one in every color, and they do something once you combo them. And so, for example, in red, we have Further Destruction Champa. In blue, we have Ultimate Judgment Jocko. In green, we have Sun Goten Family of Justice. And finally, in yellow, we have Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. And all of these cards do something once you combo them. For example, Further Destruction Champa gives your battle card Double Strike. Ultimate Judgment Jocko bounces a combo card that's in your opponent's combo area. Sun Goten actually kills something that's 3 or less. It KOs a 3 or less character when it's comboed. And then Zarbon, actually, if you combo it on your opponent's turn, you can unrest one of your battle cards. And these are really powerful effects that are only going to get better as we get more cards in the set. Another thing to remember about these is they're all splashable. It doesn't matter what color they are, you can still combo them in your deck. And so for that reason too, they're just very versatile. And again guys, these are very powerful cards, and you should always have a playset of these cards as long as they're available in the current format.
Let's take a look at number 4.
All right, at number 4, we have the blue core. And it's no surprise, that blue is my favorite color. And it's really for good reason. In my opinion, blue is the most splashable color we currently have in the game. And so because of that, it's really important to kind of have that blue core available. So that way, going into Set 2 or, at the end here of Set 1, you always have those cards to be able to splash into your deck because blue is a very, very strong splashable color. And those cards are Energy Boosted Majin Buu, Energy Boost Beerus, Objection, Sensu Bean, and finally Result of Training. All of these cards are very powerful cards and can be easily splashed in any color. And they all kind of do something that is kind of unique to blue, but also can be used by all the colors. So for example, Energy Boosted Majin Buu, when you play it, it draws you a card. And so it's essentially just a free card. You play one, you play it out, you replace itself, and then you always have that card there to combo off of later in the game. Energy Boost Beerus is just a fantastic 4-drop. Like I said, he's at that 4-drop curve we always talk about, which is 4 cost, 20,000 double striker, and he even has a powerful effect allowing you to KO a battle card when he comes into play as long as you have 5 or more energy available. Next up is Objection. It's a card I've talked a lot about on the channel, and it's just a fantastic card. It allows us to ramp. It's one of the few ramp cards we have in the game, and also to make it a lot better is also the card that you ramp with. So when you put an extra card down as energy, it does come in active, so you still can use it. This is going to be even more important once we move into Set 2 with leaders like Goku Black, and even some of the other off-color leaders as well really want to kind of ramp a little bit and get into their big drops quicker. Next up is Sensu Bean. In my opinion, Sensu Bean is one of the best cards in the game. It's very good offensively, it's very good defensively, it works in a multitude of decks, and honestly, I say it all the time, but it's possible just to run 4 of this card and just use one of them as energy to be able to play the other 3. Honestly, the card is that powerful. And so, if you're looking for that blue core, this is kind of the staple card in that blue core. And then finally, Result of Training, a fantastic card, and honestly, with stall decks running rampant and hand destruction, you're going to need a way to awaken, and some decks just don't have that ability. And so if you splash blue in and you have access to this blue core, you do have access to Result of Training, which is simply awakens you. It does untap 4 energy after you use it, and so it's a very, very powerful card. And honestly guys, this blue core is just a powerful group of cards that you should have a playset of moving into Set 2.
Moving on to number 3.
All right, at number 3, we have another very powerful set of cards, and that is the counter cards. Every caller has access to their own type of counter in this game, and honestly, they all also have like neat little abilities attached to them, and so it's really a good idea to make sure you have a play set of all these cards. And so these cards are, in red, we have Vados' Assistance. In blue, we have Whis' Coercion. In green, we have Full Power Energy. In yellow, we have Crusher Ball. and Cold Bloodlust. And then finally in yellow, we also have Bad Ring Laser, which is a counter card and very powerful. And so, Vados' assistant is the red counter, and it allows you to, after you counter, it allows you to unrest one of your battle cards, which is a very powerful ability because not only can you stop the attack on one of your battle cards, you can also just save them for the rest of the turn from being attacked, which is super powerful. And again, just going to be even more powerful as we have strong battle cards going into set 2. In blue, we have probably the best counter card, and that's Wheats' Corrosion. Now, this card is a 1-cost blue and allows you to, after you use it, ready one of your energy, which is extremely powerful because you can have 1 blue open and 4 of these in hand and essentially negate 4 attacks, which is extremely powerful. Or you can even, use it to negate an attack and then ready, like for example, red, and then use the red counter we just talked about. So it's an extremely versatile card and very, very good. Next up is Full Power Energy, and honestly, I think this is probably the most underrated counter we have in the game currently. It negates an attack and allows you to KO a 1 or less cost battle card, which is going to be very powerful moving into set 1, especially once we figure out how tokens work and other things. But honestly, this card is just really good against a lot of powerful threats. It's really good against Kaba. It's really good against the Broly line. It's just a very powerful counter card, and honestly, something that you should always watch out for if you're playing powerful 1-drops and then attacking into a 1 green energy. Next up is the yellow suite of cards. These cards are all really, really good in their own way, but number 1 is Crusher Ball. And Crusher Ball essentially is a counter card that counters play. And whenever someone plays a battle card, you can then Crusher Ball and it puts them in rest mode, which is a very powerful attack. It allows you to stop their attack for the turn and put pressure on that battle card for the next on your turn, which is super, super powerful. Next up is, in my opinion, one of the strongest cards in the game, if not the strongest card in the game, and that is Cold Bloodlust. Now, what Cold Bloodlust lets you do is you pay 1, you play it out after someone has played a card, and it negates their entire skill box. And so what the skill box is, guys, is the entire box that has all the things that the card does. So it stops Double Strike, it stops their auto ability. It's just a very, very powerful effect, and honestly, it's very hard to play around. It's just a super, super strong card. And then finally is Bad Ring Laser. It's the only counter we have in the game, and it's very devastating and can do a lot of really cool things. But the only downside with this card is that once you play it, you have to discard a yellow card, and so a lot of times it can lead to some card disadvantage, but there's certain situations where this card is just absolutely bonkers. And so guys, that is all of the counter cards that you should have. And honestly, you should have a playset of all of these cards going into set 2 because they are very, very powerful and honestly could lead to you easily winning a game. Thanks, guys.
Number 2 coming at ya.
Alright guys, for number 2 we have the 1-drop search cards, and these are battle cards that once you play out, allows you to look at the top X cards in your deck. And this is an extremely powerful ability that I think gets overlooked a lot because not only can these cards replace themselves, they can also search for a card that you might need in a certain situation. And this is really important once you start looking at like the blue Goku card, for example, that can let you search for the new 4-drop counter Goku. So if you need a counter, you can use this card to search, and it's just a very, very powerful ability, and honestly, I think it's very underrated. And so let's go ahead and kind of talk about these cards. So number 1, we have Manipulating God Champa at red. In blue, we have Kind Saiyan Son Goku. In green, we have Broly, Dawn of the Rampage. And finally, in yellow, we have Avenging Frieza. Now, the Manipulated God Champa at red is a very strong card, and honestly going to get even stronger once we move into set 2. And right now, currently, it can search out a Champa card, and that Champa card can be one of the combo cards we just talked about at number 5. It can be the one that gives your creatures Double Strike, which is extremely powerful. But moving into set 2, this is probably going to be a very staple card going into the blue-red Beerus deck. Because it is a god, it can be moved into mana with the 7-cost Priest card. So this card is very strong and honestly is going to get even better moving into set 2. Now in blue, we have Kind Saiyan Son Goku. Now this lets you look at the top 7 cards and look at find a blue Goku and put in your hand, which is extremely powerful. We've had a lot of new blue Gokus coming in set 2, but also this card is going to be a staple in the Vegito decks because with Vegito's ability making all of your Gokus and Vegetas every color, I'm sorry, not every color, it's blue, red, and green in all zones. This means you can play out this Goku, look in your deck, and choose, you know, a green Goku or a red Goku, which is extremely powerful. And again, this card is just going to get better and better as we get better Gokus, which, you know, as it turns out, is a very popular character in this game, and so it's very likely that we'll see more and more powerful Gokus. Next up is Broly, Dawn of the Rampage. Now this card is insane. I mean, it's essentially lets you look at the top 7 for a Broly, but the Broly line is very, very powerful, and it can, you know, result in you discarding a lot of cards out of your opponent's hand, and it's very reliant on evolving. And so this card is a staple in that type of deck archetype, and again, it's just going to get more and more powerful as we get more Brolys. And then finally, we have Avenging Frieza. Now, Avenging Frieza can only look at the top 3, but a Frieza isn't limited by itself, so it doesn't have to go look for a Frieza. It can find any Frieza's army card, which is extremely, extremely powerful because it's 0-cost combo card. Dodoria is a Frieza's army card, and again, there's a lot of combo pieces that this card can look for. And again, as we get more powerful Frieza's army cards, this card is going to get more and more powerful. Now, it is worth mentioning that I think the card has to be 2 or less, and so, you know, you can't go search like a super powerful Frieza's army while the other ones aren't restricted by cost. But again, it's still a very powerful card that you should be looking for if you want to be playing any kind of the Frieza army decks. All right, guys, so that's number 2, and let's check out number 1.
Finally, number 1.
All right, guys, at number 1, should be no surprise to anyone, and that is the 0-cost combo cards. Now, these cards are extremely, extremely powerful, and there's one in every single color. And what they do is they have a 0+0 combo cost, which is might seem very bad, but if your leader is at 4 or less life, then they instead get 10,000 power, and when you play them, they draw you a card. Now, this is extremely powerful. They're the only 0+10,000 combo cards that we currently have in the game, and so far, the only ones we've seen in set 2 as well. Now, this by themselves just make them playable, but there's a couple other things to remember about this card. Number 1 is that they do keep that effect on their card, not on the leader for the turn. And I've seen a lot of people kind of mess this up, and they think that once you play this on your leader, they get plus 10,000 power for the entire, you know, turn. That's not true. It's only the card that gets it. But why this is important is this can be used possibly once we see other cards coming out in set 2 or set 3 that might let us, you know, combo out of the drop area, or, you know, just you can even use this card as, for example, an attacker, and then you can attack with it, and then if there's ever a card released or something that lets you combo while rested, then it would still get that plus 10,000 for the whole turn. And so this is a very powerful part of the card that I feel like is often misunderstood or overlooked. So let's get into the cards. So number 1 for red is Divine Aid Vados. For blue, we have Boost Attack Piccolo. For green, we have Trunks, Protector of Children. And finally, in yellow, we have Dodora, the Emperor's Attendant. Again, guys, if you don't have a playset of these cards, get them ASAP because they are very powerful and will be used the entire time they are able to be used. So, guys, that's it for our Top 5 Tuesday, and thank you so much for coming by and checking me out. Now remember, guys, you can go to my Facebook page, which is in the description below. If you go there, you can see the runner-up I chose for this week. Like I said, there's always people that are always asking me, like, why didn't you pick this one? And a lot of the times I did, it's just the runner-up, so it's on the Facebook page. You have to go on the Facebook and check that out. Also, guys, thank you so much for the support. We are growing so quickly, and it's all thanks to you guys, seriously. It means so much to have your guys' love and support. I just cannot thank you enough. Another reminder is, remember, tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern time, you can stop by me on Twitch, which the link is again in the comments section, and see me and Aaron on the weekly Supercast. And this is just a podcast style thing that I stream, and you can hear us talk about various topics. And so, guys, again, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for checking out my list. Let me know in the comment sections what I got right, what I got wrong, what I could do better, and let me know about your suggestions. What do you think I should do the next Top 5 Tuesday about? All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.